This is a read aloud of the 504 unit test, characters, element of surprise and plot. Damon and Pythias. The story of Damon and Pythias is an ancient Greek legend that has been retold throughout the centuries and that has been source material for many literary works. The legend expresses the ideals of friendship and examines the bond between two individuals faced with an impossible test and choice. There once lived two men called Damon and Pythias. They were both lovers of truth and integrity, and in all the city of Syracuse they could find no one who upheld these principles so well as each other. Dionysius was at that time the ruler of Syracuse. He wielded complete authority and very often abused his power. He was hot-tempered and imperious, and anyone who angered him was put to death. One day he was informed that a young man named Pythias had been heard complaining against the cruelty of Dionysius. No one was allowed to criticize the ruler, and Dionysius condemned the youth to die. When Pythias learned of his fate, he begged to be allowed to return home to set his affairs in order. "How far away is your home?" inquired Dionysius suspiciously, "and how may I be certain you will return?" "My home is many miles distant," replies Pythias, "but I have a friend, Damon, who is willing to take my place while I am away." There was a stir amongst the bystanders, and a man stepped to Pythias's side. "I am Damon, my lord," he said. "I will give myself up as a pledge of my friend's return, and if any accident befalls him, I will die in his stead." The tyrant was amazed by this generosity, and gave Pythias leave to depart, fixing on the day and hour of his return, and warning that he would not fail to exercise justice on his friend if he did not arrive back in time. The days passed, and the morning dawned on which Pythias was to have been executed still. Pythias did not appear, and the people of Syracuse said that Damon would surely be killed. Everyone was agreed in condemning his behavior as rash and foolhardy, but Damon himself was the happiest man in the prison. He was filled with hope that his friend would not return in time, and he was led out to the execution with a cheerful face. Dionysius had come to see him meet his death and called out to him in mocking words. "So, Damon, where is your friend, of whom you were so confident? I fear you have allowed him to take advantage of your simplicity." "It is impossible for me to doubt my friend's constancy," replied Damon. "Perhaps he has met with some accident along the way." At that moment a horse broke through the crowd, and Pythias, travel-stained and weary, half fell out of his saddle and ran to embrace his friend. "I am come in time," he gasped. "My horse was killed, and I could not find another. Thank heaven I am in time to save you." But Damon did not want Pythias to die. He pleaded with him to allow the execution to continue, and Dionysius watched in disbelief as each friend eagerly sought to give up his life for the other. Cease these debates," he exclaimed, stepping forward and taking their hands. "I hereby set both of you free. Never in my life have I seen such loyalty, nor did I dream such a thing could exist. I beg you will accept my pardon and allow me to share in your friendship." Question 1. How does the author create surprise in this myth? A. The author sets up the expectation that Dionysius will execute Damon, but it does not happen. B. The author presents Damon as a friend willing to risk his life for Pythias, but he backs out of his promise. C. The author foreshadows that Pythias will return, and he does. Question 2. How does Dionysius advance the plot in this story? Dionysius's hot temper leads many in the city to fear him, creating tension in the story. Dionysius sentences Pythias to death for speaking out against him, creating the central conflict in the story. C. Dionysius sets a day and time for Pythias to return for his execution, creating the rising action of the story. Question 3. How does the author create surprise in Damon and Pythias? A. The author sets up the expectation that Pythias will be executed, but Damon agrees to take Pythias's place. B. Dionysius allows Pythias to return home to get his affairs in order before his death. C. The author sets up the expectation that Damon will be put in jail, and he is. Question 4. How does Damon advance the plot? Damon spends time in jail awaiting Pythias's return, which creates surprise for the readers. B. Damon agrees to pledge himself for Pythias's return, which shows Damon's loyalty for his friend, creating tension in the story. C. Damon willingly goes to his execution, hoping his friend does not return, which leads to the climax of the story. Question 5. Which event causes Dionysius to change his mind about Pythias' fate? Pythias feels remorseful for criticizing Dionysius. B. Dionysius sees the selflessness in the friendship between Pythias and Damon. C. Dionysius convinces Damon and Pythias of his right to rule. Question 6. Why does the author wait until the end of the story to have Pythias return? It creates tension because what is happening in Pythias' trip is withheld from the reader. B. It allows readers to develop sympathy for Damon and his situation. Or C. It allows the author to better develop the character of Damon. Question 7. How does the author make his story more compelling for the reader? A. The author introduces a surprising twist when Damon takes Pythias' place to be executed. B. The author includes a flashback that reveals the reasons for Pythias' arrest. C. The author includes information about Dionysius' cruelty to other subjects under his rule. Question 8. Which element is common to both the text and the image? A. Pythias bursts through the crowd. B. A row of soldiers observe the chopping block. C. People wait expectantly for something to happen. Question 9. Which element appears only in the text and not in the image? Pythias embraces his friend Damon. B. A row of soldiers stands guard. C. The tyrant Dionysius raises a hand over the execution scene.